as they take on Bridgewater West. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Laughlin. We are rapidly approaching the end of a decade, and as we look back on the 80s, we'll see a time in which the sport of soccer has grown not only in terms of the number of teams who play the game, but also in terms of the quality of play. Scotch Plains has enjoyed the 1980s. They're making their third appearance in a state championship game. 2 years ago, they won the Group 3 final. They're taking on a club in Bridgewater West that has also had a fine run through this decade. They've won 8 of 10 conference championships. However, they're making their first ever championship appearance. Working with me on tonight's matchup, Hugh Albanesius. Hugh, coaches always talk about building from the back, building with strong defenses. And that's what these two teams have done.
Well, yes, Matt, they have. They're both very strong defensively. Scotch Plains has only given up 8 goals all year. Mike Dunlap has done an outstanding job back there with 15 shutouts. Bridgewater West only given up 13 goals, 5 shutouts. They gave up 2 goals to a good Pingree side, and the rest 1-goal games.
So, though these teams are good defensively, there is some pressure on them because, well, you got to score to win a game. So, offensively, the pressure is on the strikers, the big scorers. The big scorer for Bridgewater West comes from the midfield, not a striker spot, Mike Lynch.
Yes, Mike Lynch, an outstanding player, very good in the air. Mike has 13 goals, which is just a little bit more than a third of the goals that Bridgewater have scored. A fine player. They look for a lot from him.
Great shot, and he's wearing his lucky shoes tonight. It's an old pair. His right foot's got some medical tape around it to keep them together. But Mike Lita, his coach, said, hey, they're the lucky shoes, and he hopes they're lucky tonight. Rob Barletta has done the job all year for Scotch Plains. He's a 2-year starter. He leads the club in scoring.
Yes, Rob Barletta has 21 goals and 8 assists. We saw him before against Westfield, and a fine player, an opportunistic player who seems to be in the right spot at the right time for Scotch Plains.
Tom Bresnitsky hopes that he's in the right spot tonight as Scotch Plains looks to win its second championship of the decade. But Bridgewater West will have something to say about that. We'll come back with the Group 3 showdown as Scotch Plains takes on Bridgewater Raritan West High School right after this.
Delicious, doesn't it, Dad?
Seasonal affective disorder is caused by lack of daylight between November and February. Because the holidays occur during darkest days of the year, feelings of sadness may be heightened. Putting more light into your life can make you feel better. The good news is that phototherapy or fluorescent light treatment may help some people. Your physician may prescribe phototherapy, which consists of several hours, morning and evening, with a special fluorescent light. The device has 8 50-watt tubes behind a fluorescent screen and is used throughout the winter months. While the light is intense to help lift the depression, you can go about your normal activities while under the treatment. At the season's end, with longer and lighter days, things should look a lot brighter.
Here's the starting lineup for the 12, 4-2 Golden Falcons of Bridgewater Raritan West High School. They'll go with 2 strikers. Up front, Frank Inzateri and Gus Panagatis, a pair of seniors. At the midfield spot, they've got Pete Iavini, Mike Lynch, Sean Straka, and Vic Ravi. And in the defense, Jeff Connors is the left back. The right back is Dave Knapp. Dave Kirschenman is the stopper. The sweeper is Bill Schweikert. In the nets, senior Pat Grandy, and Grandy has been outstanding all season long. As Huey mentioned, 5 shutouts for Grandy, and in only 1 game has he given up as many as 2 goals. That in the Somerset County Tournament semifinals against Pingree. Meanwhile, for Scotch Plains, Dave Moser and Rob Barletta will be up front. They are an outstanding scoring tandem, a pair of seniors. And Barletta comes in with 21 goals, Moser 15. John Urusi, Tom Kelly, Rick Emery, and Larry Naldi are the midfielders. In the defense, James Brown, Don Schreck, Todd Kylish, and Adam Kellogg. And in goal is Mike Dunlap, a senior. And Dunlap, again, as we talked about the strong defense that these teams utilize, has been outstanding. 15 goals allowed by Dunlap. He's allowed just 1 goal 1 goal in the last 8 games. That came in the most recent outing, a 3-1 win in the Group 3 semifinals over Indian Hills. 7 shutouts prior to that. This is a very wide field. It's around 75 yards wide.
That's an outstanding field. Nice and smooth, of course, which is AstroTurf usually is. Nice and wide, as you say, and it's a wide open game on a field like this.
Brown trying to get it out of the box, and he does. Emery settles. Rick Emery plays it back to Dunlap. And Dunlap goes tumbling to the turf. No whistle called, though. That was Gus Panagatis coming on. And now we do have a whistle. Dunlap appears to be shaken up. Gary Chorba is one official. Mike Luciano, excuse me, is our other official. That's Gary right there.
Well, I don't know if I wouldn't have called a penalty on that.
Yeah, it looks like he might have, because we're having a direct kick. Yarusi settles.
A little over-eager on that play. You have to be careful.
Inzateri with it. Gets around Kylish. Brown there to cut him off, but a nice play by Inzateri. He cannot control, however, and we have a goal kick. Tom Bresnitsky in his 15th year as the head coach at Scotch Plains. What a marvelous 15 years it's been. 223 wins.
We were talking about the large field before. Most coaches who have good teams like these two tonight like a big field. Opens up play. They can do a lot of things that they couldn't do on a smaller field.
This is the first time all year that the Golden Falcons have played on AstroTurf. That's the assistant coach for Bridgewater Raritan West, Carl Evans. Bob Fisher, a junior varsity coach who's been with Mike Lita the whole time since 1971, is also on the sideline.
Have a hold called down to our far right. The direct kick for Scotch Plains.
Shrek playing it along the sideline, knocked back in by Ravi. Here's Kylish for Yarusi. Yarusi plays it to the center. This is Dave Knapp. Moser chases. Knapp lost a long ball, headed by Brown. Brown, the junior, left foots it across midfield, sent right back in. This is Inzateri, second leading scorer on the team. And the ball played wide. There's Mike Lita. 19 years at Bridgewater Raritan West High School. 285 wins in those 19 years.
Both coaches been around quite a while. Both gentlemen, excellent coaches and very successful. This is not just a one-time deal for either of these gentlemen. They've been around in the playoffs and state championship play for a long time.
They have experienced a tremendous amount of success. There is talk of merging both Bridgewater Raritan West High School and Bridgewater Raritan East High School due to declining enrollments in that district. So this may be the only chance that the Golden Falcons have to win a title for Bridgewater West. Next year, it appears as if there'll just be one high school. Larry Naldi. The only player there is Vic Ravi, and he sends it high. Mike Lynch looks to settle. And Lynch with it. Lynch pushes it forward. And now it's knocked away.
Bridgewater West putting a lot of pressure on so far this period.
Showing good quickness, Huey.
Not only good quickness, but they've moved the ball well. They know where the other players are, and they work the ball very nicely.
Shrek will take the direct kick. Lays it off for Emery. Nobody there. Inzateri, marked closely by Adam Kellogg, and now Tom Kelly plays it back. A still night, a crisp night. No breeze blowing. Last night, the Group 1 and Group 2 championships were held on this field, and Mike Lita came out to watch Bernard's play as we take a look at the American flag, and quite apparent that there's no breeze. Mike Lita came out to watch Bernard's play, another Somerset County team. They won the Group 1 championship, and he said there was some water from yesterday's rains. It did not affect play, but when the players hit the turf, you could see it bounce up. But no water on the turf. The sunshine and the breeze we had blowing today drying things up.
There is a little bit of a frost.
Yeah.
You know, just a slight amount, but with the cleats that the players have, it's really not going to affect the game.
13:50 showing on the clock, left to play in the first quarter. We are scoreless, and we're going to get our first. No, it's not a corner.
It's a foul against Bridgewater West.
Called on the Golden Falcons. Emery takes most of the set pieces, and he does here. Yarusi sends it toward goal, and we have a goal kick. Jeff Connors will take the goal kick. Connors, a senior, plays the left back spot. Played back by Knapp. Grandy's been the unsung hero this year. Pat Grandy in nets. Earlier in the year, it was a 1-3-1 start for Bridgewater West. And they were in a number of 1-0 losses, tight games. They lost their first 2 games 1-0, had a 0-0 tie, won a game 2-1, then lost 1-0. And Mike Lita says if it wasn't for Grandy in the early going, those 1-0 scores would have been a lot worse.
Well, that's true, and they rebounded nicely with a 11-1-1 record in their last 13 games.
Yeah, they played very well. A couple of things happened. Some players who were injured got healthy, and also they moved some players around. They found some players who were not playing up to their capabilities at certain positions. They made some adjustments, and things have clicked. Naldi with the throw-in, lays it off to Kellogg. Moser, marked by Connors. Second leading goal scorer, Dave Moser. He's got great quickness. Left-footed into the box, headed away by Schweiker. And we get a jumping in foul.
Once again, this is a large field, and probably larger than most fields that most high school teams will play on.
Yeah.
This is in regulation, probably to the limits, but an excellent field to play on, as we mentioned before.
Pete Iavini will take the throw in for the Golden Falcons. We mentioned Barletta in our open, Huey, the gentleman who's opportunistic. Iavini's the man who scores the big goals. He's the one who comes up with the clutch scores, although Lynch and Inzateri are the 2 leading scorers.
But he's made the most of the goals that he's had.
He'll take the throw in again. Good play by Kylish there as the ball was headed toward the goal. He was able to knock it away.
Just about halfway through this first period, neither team having a good opportunity to score or any real opportunity. Most of the play has been between the 20s.
Kelly, Ravi, ball at midfield. Schreck sends it into the attacking end of the field for Scotch Plains. These teams met, Huey, in a scrimmage, preseason scrimmage. It was a 0-0 tie. Somebody will have to win it. tonight. If we end regulation at 0-0, we go 2 overtimes, not sudden death. And if we're still tied, it's a shootout. Here's Shrek down the wing. Yarusi. 3-ball Barletta in front, and he could not get a strong left foot on it.
Barletta got the ball, couldn't quite control it as well as he wanted to. Did get a shot off, but not a real strong shot.
Barletta with the big opportunity, and we see the tail end of it there, and was easily handled by Grandy.
On the far side of the field, we have a foul against Scotch Plains, be a direct for Bridgewater West.
A moment ago, I said there would be a shootout. I stand corrected. We will, after overtime, have co-champions if we end tied. Terry cut off by James Brown. Brown, an interesting story. His grandfather played for the U.S. national team in the World Cup. He's a member of the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame, and his dad played for the U.S. national team, so he's got a soccer background.
Quite a soccer background.
Impressive. Mike Lynch will take this corner. The shot sent wide by Straka. Under 8 minutes to play in the first quarter. Matt Laughlin, Hugh Albanesius. We're at Trenton State College. Group 3 championship aspirations. Held by Scotch Plains and Bridgewater West. Take the throw in. It'll be taken by Dave Knapp. Terry trying to get around Shrek. It's played back to Dunlap. It's a big defense for Scotch Plains. Tall players. Kylish 6'4", Shrek 6'2". Kellogg, who's the right back, is 6'3", and Brown is 6'1".
I think all the fullbacks and 1 or 2 of the halfbacks are 6'1" or better.
Possible break here. This is Lynch. And Lynch comes up a little gimpy. We get a whistle. We'll have a throw in for the Golden Falcons, but Lynch, you can see him at the top portion of your screen. You saw him there momentarily. A little shaken up. And they can ill afford to lose their leading goal scorer and one of their captains.
He's still hobbling around a little bit.
Tom Kelly has been substituted for by Tom Bresnitsky. Scott Berlinski has come on for Scotch Plains. Here's a shot, and it's a goal! And the man who just stepped onto the pitch, Scott Berlinski, puts it in the back of the net, his 4th goal of the year. And Huey, when a move like that works, coaches look like geniuses.
They sure do. That whole play was started on this side, right in front of the press box by John Iarusi, who got the ball, took it right down the left wing, beat his defender, crossed the ball nicely. Heck of a play.
We'll look at it one more time.
There's the cross. There's the shot by Berlinski. Nice left foot. Left-hand corner. Beautiful shot.
1-0. Scotch Plains on top as the goal comes with 5:55 to play in the opening quarter.
As you mentioned, great move by Tom Brzezinski.
Possible break here for the Golden Falcons. It's cleared away by Kylish and then tossed out to the wing. Yarusi plays it up. Players slip on the turf. We get an obstruction called, however. Indirect kick. Connors will set things in motion. Inzateri settles. There's a loose ball, but Dunlap dives on it.
We have a foul called on Bridgewater, a push. And a little dangerous here.
Inzateri trying to get around Kylish.
Dunlap doing a nice job of coming out and grabbing that ball.
He was surrounded. Tom Brzezinski, always animated on the sideline. Under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. It's a 1-0 lead for the Raiders. Scotch Plains' lone loss this year to St. Benedict's. St. Benedict's on Tuesday evening won the Parochial B Championship, beating Bishop Eustace 5-0, and with that victory ensured themselves at the top spot in the state rankings. Vanagadis, and it's taken away by Kylish on charging his Ravi. And we have a corner kick.
Bridgewater worked the ball very nicely. Nice crisp passes from midfield down to about the 15. Nicely done. Didn't finish, but up to that point, outstanding job.
Lynch will take the corner. Last time they played the ball back out to about 25 yards looking for a shot. Let's see what they do here. We have a whistle and the foul called on the Golden Falcons as the man was jumping into Dunlap.
You get to see it again. There's the ball coming in, Dunlap going up, and there Dunlap gets leveled. No question about it being a foul.
Pete Iovini running into him. Connors cuts it off. Ravi unable to control.
Barletta saw Moser there, tried to get on the ball, unable to get the pass through, but it would have been a nice opportunity if he had been able to get the pass through. Have a push called.
Called against Barletta. Lynch seems to be okay now. He was limping a few moments ago, but he seems to be okay. Worked out whatever problem it was.
Maybe tightened up momentarily in the leg, and then more he walked and ran on it, the better it got.
Inzateri plays it out for Ravi. Vic Ravi, the sophomore, tries to turn to get around Kylish, and Kylish wins it. To Emery. Emery with room to create. Nice feed for Kylish, settles.
You're not going to get around Kylish too often.
Naldi playing it out to Berlinski. Checked that was Moser, and now played in by Berlinski, looking for Kylish, the header. Ball was punched away, I believe, by Grandy. Naldi knocked down in front by Knapp. Now the pressure being applied by Scotch Plains. Berlinski can't win it. for Moser. Moser turns, tries to get around Connors and does. For Barletta, has Kylish to his left. Takes the shot, it's wide.
And we'll have a corner.
It was deflected in front. And we have a corner, and look for Kylish, that 6'4" senior. He provides a great target for a sweeper, 14 goals. In the background, you hear the horn to indicate the end of the first period. And it's a 1-0 Scotch Plains lead. Scott Berlinski, the goal scorer, at 14:05. Winter clothes showing on the crowd here as they are watching tonight's action. Here's the lone goal of that first quarter, Larry Naldi with the cross.
And Barletta with the left foot.
Berlinski. Scott.
Berlinski, thank you. I stand corrected, and I do stand.
And the assist to Yarusi. We both think right there. I said Naldi, and it was John Yarusi who had crossed the ball. And Berlinski with the goal. In fact, it was number 7, John Yarusi, with the assist. His 3rd assist of the year, and for Berlinski, his 4th goal. Teams will switch sides to begin the second period. Kelly back on the pitch. Well, and now he's walking off. Nope, he's just walking into his position. So he's on. Berlinski stays on. So we'll see who has come off. New player on the pitch, Jose Sanchez Mariscal, number 25 for Scotch Plains.
Just had a picture of Dunlap knocking his head on the side of the goalpost. Probably a little ritualistic thing he goes through before each period starts.
Emery has come off for Scotch Plains, and so has Yarusi. And so Kelly and Mariscal on to start the second quarter. Tom Roboski has come on for Bridgewater West. Roboski playing in the back. And this is Roboski playing it back toward Grandy. It appears as if Jeff Connors has been replaced.
As we mentioned, Bridgewater West has worked the ball very well, up only about to the 15 or 20, and they haven't been able to finish. Really haven't had a good opportunity. One time the ball came in and Dunlap just came out and took charge, but that's been about it.
Raffy with it, plays it for Inzateri. Inzateri turns, looking to get around Brown. And we have a corner.
Inzateri very wisely knew the ball was going out, let it go out, knew it was off Scotch Plains.
I said that Connors had come off, but Connors has come into the box setting a target. It's Kirschman who has come off. Headed away by Kylish. So Kylish provides a target offensively, and he's a big man there to clear it defensively.
Well, he came right out, did a nice job on that ball. Timed it nicely, went up in the air, and just pushed it right out. We get to see the corner again. Kylish up and over, nice head ball.
Back to action, Roboski with it. Schweikert ahead, too far for Panagatis. Rick Emery will come back on. And Larry Naldi will move over to the outside midfield spot on the right. Berlinski will come off the pitch.
Kylish up in the air once again and getting ahead. One more time.
It looks like he's got a good 4 or 5 inch height advantage over Inzateri.
Not only that, but he does get off the ground very well too.
Kelly in open space. Kelly playing it out for Barletta. Here's Emery. Moser, nice play between the legs of Connors, but it is cleared away by Schweikert.
And on the end of that play, Moser gets called for a push. We get to see the play again, right through the legs. Just can't quite get to the ball.
And the clear push and the clear foul. Randy with a little trouble with the Kelly shot.
Let's go.
Nice try at a backheel pass.
Across the touchline, throw in. Lynch to take it. There's Panagatis. Soft shot toward goal in front, lifted toward the corner, and a nice stop by Dunlap. Iovine was open, and he put it in the corner, but Dunlap was there to make the stop.
That was by far Bridgewater's best opportunity thus far.
And we get a push call from behind on Connors, and here's a look at that last opportunity for the Golden Falcons.
Touches the ball, turns on it, shoots. Dunlap up to the task, up to the challenge.
Foul called on Barletta.
Call against Bridgewater put very quickly into play.
Quick restart. Kelly left foots it. One hopper handled by Grandy. Yeah. 6.5 minutes gone by in the second quarter. And a throw in for Bridgewater West. Kirschman now back out there for the Golden Falcons. Knapp is off. Mariscal comes away with it. Emery. Here's Kylish. Moser, nice move. Ball played ahead. Grandy there.
Up until the time that Scotch Plains scored their goal, I was a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed in the way they were playing, but I don't think they were playing up to their capabilities. But since the time they scored the goal, they have been working the ball very nicely, making sharp passes, working with each other very well. I don't think they did that for a little while in the first period, maybe a little bit nervous, whatever, but since that period, that time, they played very well.
14:05 of the ball game. Scott Krolinski scored from John Yarusi. That's where we stand, 1-0. We're into second quarter action. 8 minutes gone by. Matt Laughlin, Hugh Albanesius. Group 3 state championship match. Scotch Plains and Bridgewater Raritan West High School. Ravi takes the throw in for Lynch. Lynch plays it back. Soft ball ahead, nobody there. Brown plays it out of touch, a throw, and I think he maybe thought there was someone closer to him because it looks like he had some room to turn it and do something with it.
Well, not that bad a decision. He wasn't sure. Bridgewater had a player right in the middle. You're not sure. Do the safe thing, turn it to the outside, even if you have to kick it out. It stops the play.
Schreck tries to go around Kirschenman. Ball along the goal line, possible break here. Schreck takes a little too much time and Kirschenman back into play.
Opportunity for Scotch Plains, but unable to capitalize.
Inzateri down the wing looking for Lynch, too far. Scotch Plains has had the better of play thus far. They lead 1-0. It took a while, as Hugh mentioned a few moments ago. It took a while for them to warm up, I guess literally and figuratively. They have taken charge, though, since a little bit more than halfway through that first period.
Well, the goal does have a tendency to do your heart good and warm you up a little bit.
Moser is sandwiched, and we're going to have a direct kick as he was sandwiched by Raboski and by Connors.
Get to see it again.
Again through the legs.
Yeah, I'd call that a foul, most definitely.
Emery will take it. Emery, a 4-year starter.
Moser with a nice fake on that play, but no one was there.
Inzateri chasing the ball across the field. Inzateri is relentless in his pursuit. Lynch with some room for Inzateri, looking for the return pass. Here's Ravi, and we get a handball call.
And we're going to turn and go the other way now.
Immediately following this game, the Group 4 championship contest will be held. Columbia and East Brunswick. Columbia twice beaten. East Brunswick has lost just once. We get a charge.
I don't know. That was there was a contact there, but I'm not too sure that couldn't have gone the other way.
For Moser, gets his head on the ball for Kylish. Here's Barletta, one-times it. Brandy there. Again, didn't have a chance to put a lot of oomph behind it.
But that was a fairly strong shot. It wasn't that weak.
But you one-time it. You don't wait for a second chance because you might not get it.
You're very lucky if you get a second chance against a team like Bridgewater, or Bridgewater getting a second chance. Here we'll get to see Barletta. Nice turnaround on goal. Meantime, we have a foul on the far side.
Jumping in foul called. Here's Emery with some space. Flips it back for Kelly.
And we'll have a corner.
Corner kick for the Raiders. And we have a substitution for Scotch Plains. Rolinski and Yarusi come on. Kelly and Mariscal come off. Last time he made a substitution like that, Scotch Plains came away with the goal. Again, it was when Kelly came out and Yarusi came on.
Very nice corner. Nobody able to really get a head on the ball for a shot, and it goes over the touchline. It'll be a goal kick for Bridgewater.
Number 7, John Iarusi. Number 16, Scott Brilliant.
6:10 showing on the clock. First half action, 1-0 the lead for the Raiders.
Jumping in called against Scotch Plains.
Let's see if the Golden Falcons can take advantage here. Connors will put the big right foot into it. Sends it out toward the right wing. Yarusi clears it across, out of touch, throw in.
Brown a little upset on the far side, asking for a foul on that play, and I'm not too sure he does it right. It did appear he got pushed a little bit, but no call.
Dunlap comes out in front of the on-charging Panagatis. Good long punt in this still night air. Inzateri able to take it away from Brown as Brown turned to move outside. Inzateri was there.
Nice hustle by Iarusi coming in and just being able to knock the ball over the side. We get to see it again. Inzateri moving the ball very nicely. And there, we didn't get to see quite the end of it, but Iarusi knocked the ball out. Instead of a corner kick, it was the throw-in.
Barletta, who goes tumbling to the turf, upset that he didn't get a call, and he is demonstrative in his complaint and receives a caution for it.
Yes,
Gary Chorba, who you see on the screen, made the call, and he was just going to allow a throw-in on the far side, but Barletta, upset with the call, showed his displeasure and will have to come out now.
He doth protest too much.
Kurt Dambow has come on for the Raiders.
Nice ball.
Eilish heads it away. Lynch settles. Knocked down by Schreck, but we get a handball. So this will be a direct kick.
From about 25 yards out. Make it 26 now.
Hard shot deflected by Eilish. And we have a corner. We saw in the warm-ups, Lynch has got a gun for a right foot.
Get a chance to see this shot again. Very nice hard shot. Eilish pushes it away from the goal.
Lynch to take the corner.
Official saying has to be a whistle before the play can begin.
Kind of got us along the goal line. Straight to shot is high and it's wide. He was open from about 20 yards out.
But just before that, once again, Kylish pushing the ball out again, doing a tremendous job tonight. Not that he doesn't always do a tremendous job, just continuing in the fine style he's been playing all year.
Lynch ahead for Ravi. Ravi has it knocked away from behind. Lynch settles. Lynch looking for that through ball to Iovine, a little too far.
2 minutes to go in the first half.
1-0 Scotch Plains on top.
Get up!
Lynch for Ravi. Lead for Inzatari too far. Kellogg plays it back. Sure-handed Mike Dunlap enjoying the 1-0 lead. Yarusi can't catch up with it. Schleicher was able to clear it. Here's Emery, knocked away, and it's cleared up. Scotch Plains recharges the offense. Naldi has a man to his left, runs through, sends a shot wide. Yarusi was on charging. The ball was too far in front of him.
Get to see it again. There's the shot or the pass, whichever, a little bit wide.
Pass, looking at it.
Hoping that Iarusi was there, but not quite there.
"20 seconds on the clock. First half action about to expire. Kellogg will take his time. He's in no hurry. High throw in, and time expires in the second quarter. 1-0 our score. Berlinski's goal in the first quarter holding up. We'll be back. They trail 1-0. The teams are on opposite sides of the field. Scotch Plains listening to the instructions of Tom Bresnitsky. A 1-0 score. Scotch Plains scored at 14:05. John Yarusi pushes the ball across.
And Berlinski with the left foot. Pretty as a picture.
1-0 our score. Columbia to take on East Brunswick for the Group 4 Soccer Championship. And you can watch it twice on TV3, 8 o'clock on the 18th. And 10 o'clock on the 26th. Well, Huey, Scotch Plains, I think, showed itself to be the better side.
Yes, as I said before, in the beginning, Bridgewater West came out very well, moving the ball very well. I thought Scotch Plains was not playing as well as they're capable of. Late in that period, when the goal was scored, all of a sudden, Scotch Plains really started to play well. They played well through the second period, and I don't think Bridgewater is playing as well as they did right at the beginning. And I think that has a large part to due to the outstanding job that Scotch Plains is doing.
We're going to take a short break here. We'll come back. Third quarter action straight ahead. Seen 10 p.m. on the 18th and 10 a.m. on the 26th. So we hope we didn't confuse you too much. What's Mike Lita saying?
Well, Mike Lita is probably telling the kids, you know, it's 1-0. We have 40 minutes to play. No time, you know, don't panic. Continue to play hard. I think they have to work a little bit, not work a little bit harder, but make their passes a little bit crisper, work the ball a little bit better than they have. I think that's what he's instructing them.
Ironically, he told us before the game that though this was their first appearance on the artificial turf, his club liked it because their home field is bumpy, and he felt that the passes were a little crisper during warm-ups, and the team liked it.
Oh, I think that's an important part for a team as good as Bridgewater West. Yes, they have demonstrated that they can play well, work the ball well, and a smooth field just can't do anything but help that.
So if they can just execute a little bit better, they may get the equalizer. Don't look for Scotch Plains, though, to go into a defensive shell. That's not their style. They may late in this game to nurse that 1-0 lead, but
well,
they won't do it early.
They have a defensive shell right from the beginning. I mean, they have a defensive backfield that, you know, might be second to none in the state. They do an outstanding job.
Okay. They may not bring their forwards back, though, until later, but you are right. They do think defense first.
Well, I've seen three defensive backs or groups of backs. Scotch Plains, Columbia, and St. Benedict's. I think they're all outstanding.
Just underway in the third quarter. This is Jeff Connors.
Over everyone's head and across the line, we'll have a goal kick.
Big crowd on hand. Throw in for Bridgewater. In a nice facility like this, the size of the crowd somewhat can be deceiving because it looks like a small crowd in hand just because there's a lot of empty spaces, but in fact there's a very nice crowd on hand.
Well, most of what the camera will see is the other side, probably the Bridgewater fans. Nice crowd there, but just as good a crowd on this side of Scotch Plains fans, maybe even a little bit more. Nice crowd for tonight's game. Long ball over the far side to Moser. Ball taken away.
Here's Kylish winning the race. Ravi running ahead. There's no one to cross the ball to. And we have a whistle.
Probably an obstruction.
Yeah, an obstruction will be called on Schreck. He was down on the turf and tied up Ravi.
We'll get to see it again.
Here's
nothing really until right about there. Rolling down, Ravi can't get around there for the obstruction.
Deflected by the small wall, now sent toward goal and wide.
You know, it's Brown that deflected that ball. Nice job. I don't think White touched that ball, but the official did. Made the call.
Naldi pushing it ahead from Moser. Moser tries to backheel it, cannot, still controls. Plays it out for Berlinski. Good give and go, Naldi. Barletta heads it. Yarusi into the box, turns it.
Now you watched that sequence and you saw some very nice passing. The ball into Barletta, We get to see it again. Ball coming across. Nice header. Nice direction from Barletta. Diarusi. And the shot a little high and wide. But up to that point, everything was done like the textbook.
Mistake made by Bridgewater West. Diarusi trying to get around Schweikert. 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter. 1-0. Scotch Plains on top. Scotch Plains has come out very strongly in the first few moments of this third quarter.
I think they're continuing where they left off in the second period, even as you say, even a little bit stronger than they did.
He plays it back.
Well, there's a push on Lynch.
Lynch, one of 4 captains of this team, a little upset with himself. Kelly. Long ball ahead for Berlinski, but it is knocked away by Kirschenman, excuse me. Kanagatis looks to cut to his left, has it knocked away by Schreck.
Nice play by Schreck.
Moser. Naldi goes out to his right, spins, plays it back. Kelly gets around his man, plays it off to his left to Berlinski. Berlinski into the box. Loose ball cleared by Connors. Naldi wide with the shot.
Once again, Scotch Plains putting a lot of pressure on Bridgewater West.
Rick Emery comes in to replace Tom Kelly. Rick Emery started the year on the injured list, broke his leg during indoor play the beginning of the year, bodies his man off the ball there, and so they moved Kelly from the defender spot up to midfield to replace Emery, and they brought Brown into the lineup. Club started off great guns, and when Emery came back into the lineup, they were that much stronger. Moser running on to the long ball. Moser left foots it wide.
Nice play by Moser. I don't think he wanted out. That was a cross, and I don't think he wanted it to get that close to the net because he had Barletta coming in down the middle. A nice play. Here's Moser coming on the ball. You see behind him, there goes Barletta to the center, but the cross was just a little bit too deep. The idea was there.
Sanchez comes on. He saw first half action. He is just a sophomore, not a big kid, 5'3", 135-pounder, but goes all out. And Yarusi comes off. Golden Falcons looking to counterattack, but that defense is so strong. It's cleared back by Kellogg.
And they have no qualms about going back to Dunlap. Have all the confidence in the world in them.
Nice play by Naldi, creating some space. Brings it back the other way, lays it off. Kylish tries to push it ahead to Emery, but it's intercepted by Panagatis. Inzateri. Boy, we mentioned his name a few times in the opening moments when Bridgewater West had the better of play, but he's been quiet since then. Credit that defense.
One thing that Bridgewater West is not, they're not putting a lot of pressure on when Scotch Plains gets the ball and in their backfield and going to the goalie. I really think they have to put a little bit more pressure on. What's happening, Scotch Plains is taking advantage of it. They're being very deliberate, using a lot of time.
Inzateri running on to it. Dunlap comes out. Dunlap, all through the evening, has not wasted any time in restarting the team on offense.
No, he gets them right back into it.
Moser.
That was a nice play by Moser. He got the ball past the back, but then he hit with the body.
Here's a look at it.
He comes in, he gets the ball, and then the push.
We have a whistle as on the far side of play, Pete Iavini comes off. Looks like he's holding looks like a hamstring.
Looks like his left hamstring, that's right.
And Jason Swinesberg replaces him. Sanchez with a break. Has Barletta to his right, plays it out to Barletta. 20 yards out, good return pass, and Sanchez one-times it wide.
Another real nice opportunity. Get to see it again. Sanchez pushes it out to Barletta on the side. One touches, pushes it right back in the middle, and a shot, but just wide.
What I liked about that play is I think it really pointed out how much play has improved. We talked about this being the end of the decade in the last 10 years. I mean, Sanchez, after he passed off, knew he had space to his side, then went right to it, knowing he'd get the return pass.
That was a...
You didn't see it, I'm not saying you didn't see it in the early part of the decade, but you're seeing more of it.
You see more of it. It was basically it was a simple give and go. Here's the ball, give it back to me, and they did. Only thing they did wrong was not put it on net.
You know, it's a term used and it's a play used in basketball all the time, but now the skills and the concepts are transferred to the soccer field much more naturally.
That's right. There's a push.
Clear push.
That was a good call. Get to see it again. There's contact there.
Back to action. The ball played off the wall by the Golden Falcons.
Nice play by Emery.
Down the line, goes across the touchline, and it'll be a throw-in for the Golden Falcons. 8 minutes to play in the third quarter. Emery, a very intelligent young man, in the top 10 of his class. He's looking toward the Ivy League next year. Chris Shear has come on for the Golden Falcons as Mike Lita goes to his bench. And Gus Panagatis has checked out. Long ball by Schreck. Moser trying to run on. Looks to get around Connors. And it'll be a goal kick. Moser tried to play it off of Connors and get the corner kick. What a goal kick called. Iarussi comes on for Scotch Plains. Berlinski comes off.
Not a bad idea with a long kick like that, letting Moser go after it. It's got to open up the defense a little bit. They can't play so tight if they think you're going to do that every once in a while.
The only goal in this game came back at the 14:05 mark. Scott Berlinski with the goal, the assist to John Irushi. Since that time, it has been all Scotch Plains. They have increased their dominance in this period. Very early on, Huey, there was a direct kick, I believe, dangerous opportunity that Bridgewater West had, but that's been it.
Since then, that has been it. It seems, too, that Scotch Plains is winning a lot of the 50-50 balls.
The more of those you win,
better off
the more of those you win. It starts to feed on itself. It becomes a cycle. The more aggressive you are, you'll win some balls, and that demoralizes the other team and fires your engines up a little bit.
Gives you more control of the ball.
Sanchez looking ahead to Naldi. Play has been in the Golden Falcons' end. Barletta, left-footed shot right on. Naldi with the left foot, Brandy there. Foul called on the Falcons. We'll take a look at it. That's the last shot. Vic Ravi trying to get something going. Sophomore plays it down the wing. West fans come alive. Mike Lynch runs onto it. Lynch crosses it. Inzateri heads it forward, and it's played across the touchline. Throw in for Bridgewater West. Lynch has moved forward from the midfield spot as Mike Lita looks to get some more offense going. His team trails 1-0.
I know, John, it's everybody now.
Foul against Bridgewater West.
Michael! Good job! Ricky!
3.5 minutes in the third period left.
Period dominated by Scotch Plains. However, they've been unable to score, so we remain at 1-0. Scotch Plains with the lead. For Straka, looking for the give and go. It's interrupted by Schreck. Taken back, here's Lynch. And it's cleared. Moser settles, gets around Connors. Connors comes back. Moser still with it. And we get a whistle. Inside the box, an obstruction. It's an indirect. So it does not call for a penalty kick.
Moser working the ball very nicely. Getting bumped, still controlling. There's the obstruction. That's a good pointed foul in that spot. No coach wants any other foul than the obstruction. At least the obstruction is an indirect kick. Had they called a push or anything, you got a penalty kick, and that's not a deserving of a penalty kick.
This will have to touch somebody else. Emery takes it upper corner, and it's just a little too high.
I think it just touched the top of the crossbar.
On an indirect, someone else has to touch the ball, and it's laid off to Emery.
There's Emery. Watch it carefully. Yes, just on the top of the crossbar, but doesn't matter. Still missed.
Kurt Dambow comes back in for Scotch Plains. Barletta checks off. Chris Shear checks off for Bridgewater, and Tom Kinsler comes on. .125 to go in the third quarter. Scotch Plains leading 1-0, looking to win their second Group 3 crown. 2 years ago, they won the title. In '85, they lost. 2 years ago, they beat Wall for the crown. And it was West Deptford who beat Scotch Plains in '85. Under a minute to go.
I think Scotch Plains has gotten Bridgewater West a little bit out of their game. Of late, they've been going with more long balls, just kicking the ball, clearing it. It's one thing deep in your end to clear it, just to get it out of there so they don't score, but there have been a number of long balls from midfield also. And I think they're a much better skilled team than that. They have to use what got them here.
.15 seconds remaining. Raiders in no hurry. Tyler looks around and says, no, I won't throw it, and I'll get a whistle. Stopping the clock with 2 seconds left. The officials will let you delay a little bit, but don't be so obvious. Otherwise, they'll stop the clock. They did. Simple throw-in runs the rest of the time off. Mike lead his team down by 1 as we prepare for the final 20 minutes of regulation. Suburban Cablevision TV3 presents Info, New Jersey's magazine, a 30-minute program highlighting topics of interest in the TV3 viewing area. You can watch Info Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. .20 minutes of regulation is all that separates Scotch Plains from the Group 3 crown. Bridgewater West has 20 minutes to score an equalizer. The Raiders have looked good indeed. They got off to a little bit of a slow start. And though they lead just 1-0, they have been the dominant team. There's no question about that. Here's Sanchez. Out for Moser. A little too far.
Moser didn't agree with the official. I think I might have agreed with Moser on that one. But the official made a call, and that's the way it's going to go. This time it goes white.
Tom Kelly to take it. Moser trying to get around Connors. Little push from behind, and it's called. We will keep you informed a little more frequently on where we stand scoreboard-wise with the clock. 18.5 to play.
There we had a call from the far side. We had a call on Sanchez for a push, and it was a good call. He did have his hands on his opponent.
Mike Luciano making the call. His partner, Gary Chorbra, was blocked on it. And, he had, though it was from far away, he had a clearer view of it. Linsky takes it out of danger. We have a throw-in. Remember, despite the dominance of Scotch Plains, Bridgewater's only down 1-0. Good play, a mistake, can result in the equalizer. Anything can happen when it's 1-0. I know Tom Brzezinski would love to have a 2-0 lead, and he could rest a little easier. Danbow plays it ahead, and Grandy handles it.
Well, I think Tom Brzezinski's advice to his charges at the break between the third and the fourth period was, you know, continue playing hard, continue playing the way you are. Really not a heck of a lot more you can tell them. They're doing a nice job.
Panagatis has come on, and Kinsler checks out for Bridgewater. Well, I think we saw in that ECT final, Huey, St. Benedict's had the better of play in the first quarter, and they just looked marvelous. Then they came down a little bit, and they played a notch below what they were capable of. And as fine a side as Columbia is, it kept Columbia in the game.
Oh, yes, it did. I almost think, in a way, they could have had another goal or two, and they got the one. I think they could have done just about what they wanted at that point in time, and I think they may have known it.
Throw in for Bridgewater. I'm not saying that that's happened here, but I'm just using that to illustrate your point that you've got to keep playing. You can't rest on your laurels. It worked for St. Benedict's, but they only won 1-0. And if you tuned in or you were in the stands for just the first quarter, you would be surprised if the game ended up 1-0 because Benedict's had the better of play.
Right. Well, this game, I really think that Scotch Plains has played a lot better. You get to see this play again. And the foul, there's a push off the ball there. Oh, there's a shot by the Bridgewater West player.
Coming after the whistle, long ball lofted wide of goal.
But the call made on the Scotch Plains player, maybe one of those instances the second guy gets caught.
Barletta comes on, Danbow comes off.
I think since the goal, Scotch Plains has played very well. They've had numerous opportunities to score. They haven't capitalized on them, but that sort of maybe warmed them up, woke them up, and they've been doing a nice job ever since. With about 15 minutes to go in this fourth period.
Lynch with it. Raboski heads it into the box, and Kylish clears it. Lynch off the side of his foot. Goal kick.
May have been better if Lynch had tried just to cross it back in rather than shooting from that angle.
We talked about Lynch's lucky shoes. He wouldn't mind a little luck right now.
That's right.
Taken away, but a whistle. Berlinski hops off the turf. Played back to Dunlap. Emery chased from behind. Softly passes ahead to Moser. It'll give for Kelly. Kelly comes back to his right. Sanchez settles. Sanchez tries to push it ahead to Barletta. We'll have a throw-in. This is Rob Barletta, the leading goal scorer. And Sanchez tries to squeeze it through to him, but it's knocked away. Emery was calling for the ball to be passed back.
Well, Sanchez thought he saw an opening for Barletta and probably was there for a split second, but closed up quickly.
Vic Ravi with it. Plays it out to his right. Brown clears it.
Don Schreck showing his good speed.
Panagatis ahead on the right side.
See, now here we see the ball going into the corner, Brown going after it, but nobody putting much pressure on.
And Brown is going to let the ball go out because it'll chew up some time. Goal kick, 12:20 left to play. Don't take too much more time. Mike Luciano on the far side, the official, is saying hurry it up, and now
It's going to be a card.
He's going to be Mike Luciano coming over, talking to Schreck and to Dunlap. Kylish in there on the conversation.
Well, no card. There was an admonishment, but could have been a card.
Well, it's the second time it's happened. Late in the third quarter, of course, on a throw-in, Scotch Plains took its time and they stopped the clock.
A card will end that and help speed things up a little bit. Now, as you said, there's an amount of time that the officials will give you, but if you press your luck, you're going to get called for it, warned for it.
Kelly and Lynch on the far sideline with a little bit of a tussle. Foul called on Kelly. Now Lynch is going to lay it off. He's going to let Connors take. Connors got a big right foot. Deflection, and it's in! The equalizer we had been looking for.
There seemed to be a little bit of confusion maybe on that, and that was just enough for Bridgewater West.
Iovini with the goal. We talked about it. We talked about either a good play or a mistake. When you're up 1-0, if the opponent gets either of those two, they can equalize. Here's a good play, maybe aided by a mistake, but Iovini there puts it in.
Ball through and just into the right side, far post.
11:16 left to play in regulation.
That was a ball that probably really should have been cleared.
Iovini from Connors. We saw Lynch lay it off. We've seen all evening long. Connors does have a strong right foot. And Lynch let Connors take it. Connors gets the assist. Tied at 1. Now let's see how this changes things. Scotch Plains have been playing well throughout. Let's see if they just pick up their pace a little bit. Moser.
Well, that goal has to give a lift to Bridgewater West.
Absolutely.
Especially a team that doesn't score a lot, and being down 1-0 for at least 2 periods.
Emery in the box. Ball handled by Grandy off the Irusi shot. 1-1 with 10:17 to play. Regulation. Opportunity here, and now play by Bridgewater has been raised a notch.
Not a bad shot. The only thing wrong probably with that shot, it was right on the goal. On Dunlap's hands.
Terry's goal would have been the one that put his club ahead. Play on, the officials say. Lynch looking for Ravi ahead. Brown will play it back. Under 10 minutes of regulation left. Just that quickly, the complexion of this game changes. Scotch Plains dominates throughout the night, and late, Bridgewater comes back to tie. Barlett ahead for Sanchez. Can't get through Schweikert, however. Schweikert clears it across, throw in, Emery to take it. Berlinski will come in on a substitution. And Iusi will come off.
Well, it worked once before. I mean, the coach Brzezinski's hoping it's going to work again.
Berlinski came in for Kelly in the first quarter and just seconds later scored the first goal of the match. .17 left. Fourth quarter. Berlinski goes through between two defenders. Schreck. Emery ahead for Moser. Here's Panagatis coming the other way. Possible break for the Golden Falcons. Ravi tries to go between the defenders. Kellogg cuts it off and plays it back. And now we have a foul called on Ravi running into Dunlap.
I don't even think he saw him and came around the defender, and I think he was surprised when he got there and saw Dunlap there.
Off of Sanchez, throw it. Seven minutes left. Fourth quarter action, knotted at 1. If we're tied at the end of regulation, we'll go to overtime. Not a sudden death overtime. If we're tied there, that'll be it. Taken down in the box is Naldi, and we're going to have a penalty kick.
We'll get to see it again. They pass from Barletta to Naldi. Naldi touches the ball, and he was taken down.
Taken down by Connors. Mike Lita cannot believe it. Penalty kick. Kylish to take it. The officials now looking for the spot.
With 6:35 left, this could be the most important kick in the game.
Kylish, the senior defender, one of the tri-captains, will take it. Grandy cannot move until the ball is struck. Goal is 24 feet wide, 8
Official
feet high.
stepping out the 6-yard from the 6-yard line to make the 12 yards. Here we go. Oh.
2-1. Scotch Plains leads. Grandy moved to his left, and the ball was placed to his right. And Scotch Plains has taken the lead once again.
I think Grandy was guessing that Kylish was going to go that way, and Kylish fooled him and went the other way. We get to see it again. Here comes Kylish on. Grandy going to his left. The ball put back to his right and in.
.73-25 of the match. On the penalty kick, Kylish's 15th goal of the year. Scotch Plains fans who are seated in front of us have been quiet pretty much all night, and that penalty kick that gave its team the lead has brought them alive.
Well, now Scotch Plains has to keep the pressure on. Can't afford any mistakes. Just keep the pressure on, keep the ball in Bridgewater, West End, and they can go home with a smile.
This is the penalty that set up the penalty kick. Connors comes across with the left leg and takes Naldi down.
You hate to see penalty kicks determine the game, but in that instance, I don't think the official can be faulted for the call, because Nolde was definitely taken down on his way to the goal, and what could have been a goal if he hadn't been hampered because he had the ball in front of him.
5:35 remaining in regulation. Barletta comes out. Terry, and we get a push, and a push called on Kylish.
I think it could have been a handball also.
Yeah, he did touch it with his right arm. This is a direct kick coming from 31 yards out. Lynch with the shot, handled by Dunlap, and Dunlap psyching himself up a little bit, saying, come on, 4.5 till we win the title.
Pushing foul. Sanchez getting knocked down.
Here's Kelly. Naldi with the cross, headed away. Emery, nice move. Can't get a shot, however. And Emery goes down to the turf and is shaken up. And as soon as Scotch Plains regains possession, we have time taken, and Emery down on the turf. Emery, as we told you, broke his leg in January during indoor play, hurt it again over the summer, which is why he missed the beginning portion of the season. In the Union County Championship game, he was injured and only returned to the lineup for the semifinal game in Group 3 action, and he's down on the turf again.
Doesn't appear to be too serious. He's getting up.
Looks like he's going to ask for a little assistance. He's trying the right foot, right leg that's bothering him. And he's holding that shin area. You can see the shin protector underneath the sock, and he's having a little trouble putting pressure on it. Rick Emery, a 4-year starter. And by the way, he's coming off, and the fact that there's just 3:42 left, his high school career is over. He's hoping his team can protect that 2-1 lead, and he can end his career with a state championship. Naldi has replaced Emery. Naldi, Iarussi, Moser, Sanchez, Kelly, Berlinski, Schreck, Kylish, Brown, and Kellogg out on the turf.
We'll start with an indirect kick for Scotch Plains. They had control of the ball when time was stopped for the injury. That was Berlinski who had the first goal. Nice shot.
3:20 remaining in regulation. Lynch can't control. Panagatis. Straka for Lynch. Lynch turns. Marked by Schreck. Flips it ahead. Cleared by Kylish. Ravi, far side, knocked away by Schreck. Headed out of touch. Throw in for Bridgewater. 2:43 to play. 2-1 the score. The Raiders on top.
A one-touch shot by Lynch. High.
2.5 minutes to go. Mike Lita looking on. 19 years he's been the head coach. His team had never made it to a championship game before this. Terry tries to turn, double teamed, cleared by Kelly as we approach the 2-minute mark.
Handball called.
Handball called on Lynch. Direct kick for Scotch Plains with 1:50 left. Good punt by Dunlap. Sanchez settles. Flip for Moser. Moser tries to cut back in, and Roboski is able to clear it. Jumping in foul called on Bridgewater. 1:15 left, and Scotch Plains will play it back to the defense, eating up the clock. Brown now plays it back to Dunlap. 1 minute remaining. Scotch Plains lost just once this year to St. Benedict's. Lost by a 1-0 mark. They've won 17 straight since then. And they're 37 seconds away from winning the Group 3 title. The title they won in 1987, beating Wall Township 4-0. 20 seconds left.
This one's history.
Time expires, and Scotch Plains claims the Group 3 championship. A game in which they had the better of play for most of the 80 minutes, but a late goal by Pete Iovini knotted things up, and it came down to Todd Kylish putting a PK into the net. And the Raiders conclude their season at 21-1, and they are the Group 3 champs. We'll be back. As they defeat Bridgewater West 2-1, Todd Kylish, penalty kick late in the match, won it. A lot of pressure on your shoulders at that point.
Yeah, there certainly was, but I'll tell you what, it's not a greater feeling in the whole world than this. You know, we worked all year for this. We won the county, we won the conference, and our final goal was to win a Group 3 championship, and I'll tell you, this is the best feeling.
I'm sure it is. Your team dominated play, but they scored a late goal, and all of a sudden the complexion changed.
Yeah, definitely. We were up 1-0. We went into the fourth quarter. Our plan was, defensive, stop them. But then they had a direct kick. We pulled an offside traps. We were coming up, and their kid had a nice volley. And then we iced it at the end.
Congratulations on Scott Berlinski steps in. Scott, your goal gave the team the 1-0 lead, and it was shortly after you came off the bench, almost as if you didn't have time to warm up.
Oh, yeah, well, I've been coming in for John Arusio, Larry Nolly for half the year now. And, Mr. Bryce showed me an article on Benny Letson now. He comes in for Rutgers, and he's a second leading scorer. How he does a really good job in there, I guess he sort of compares him to me and stuff like that, so.
Beautifully placed kick in the corner off Irushi's feet.
Oh, yeah, well, Johnny just went down the end line, crossed it through, and Dave went to kick it and went through his legs. Had a nice feint there, and I was just sitting there and put it in.
Awfully nice feeling being state champ.
Definitely, great feeling.
Mike Dunlap will ask Mike to step in. Mike 15 shutouts coming in. The defense is awfully strong for this club.
Yeah, defense was the
There's
key.
a state championship trophy.
Defense
Proudly
was
will
the
be
key
displayed
this
at
year.
Scotch Plains.
Defense was definitely the key this year, because we only allowed 9 goals all season. And it was just because we had awesome year. Everybody gave 110% in the defense. I'm proud.
Your club last year was upset in the playoffs early. Obviously, as Todd said, it was a goal to come back and to win the championship, a championship you won in '87. What tells a little bit about the hard work that went into that?
Oh, we were so mad when we lost the state championship, or in the state tournament last year. And the only goal we set in our mind last year was to win this year. It was our senior year. We wanted it bad. We did it. We won all 3.
Congratulations on an outstanding. We'll ask Tom Bresnitsky to step in. And, Brez, you were a little worried. 85, 87, 89, you're in the state championship. And you were maybe a little afraid that you'd lose one, win one, lose one. You were hoping that didn't happen, and you came through with the victory.
They did a great job. You know, they've hung tough all year long. We had one loss to St. Benedict's, 1-0 with, you know, I have to say 2 of our starters out. Tonight, Ricky Emery was very, very limited, but did a great job. Tommy Kelly has a severe cold, and he busted his hump in there and worked hard, and they just hung together. They really wanted it, and we're extremely proud of them.
Happy to bring the hardware to Union County and to Scotch Plains.
And 2 Group 3 state championships in 3 years. We can't be any prouder, Matt.
And, of course, you solidify the top spot in the TV3 poll. We
TV3
congratulate you on the win.
Hold on. I just have to say one thing, Coach Brez. We love it for all the hard work you made us go through. We really appreciate it.
Donnie Schreck with some nice words for the coach. Tom, congratulations. Enjoy that ride back to Scotch Plains.
TV3.
Our pleasure to cover a fine side such as the Scotch Plains Raiders, Huey.
They were just tremendous tonight. They may have started out a little bit slow, but they came on, they scored that goal, and from that point on, you know, they were very tough. They did everything very well, worked the ball. They did the things that they were capable of, the things that they worked so hard for.
18 straight wins to end the season, and they cap it with the Group 3 state championship. The final score, 2-1, as they defeat the Golden Falcons of Bridgewater Raritan West High School. For you Albanesians, I'm Matt Lachlan. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good night.